$5,906,000.
That's per megawatt you get.
Yeah, but only if a pilot agreement has been executed. Nameplate capacity multiplied by $2,700 plus. So we might get another 2,700.
Megawatt.
Yeah. If
Mr. Chairman, we are live streaming right
fewer
now.
than 14.
All right, I will call the BAC board meeting to order. We have the same participants that we had in the IDA meeting, which we just finished. And our first order of business is to approve the board minutes, which are very brief. And if there are no discussion or questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the board minutes as presented.
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second as written.
All right. Is there anybody who does not agree? All right, motion is passed. We'll make the same motion. Well, let me back up a minute. First, I'll ask Robin to highlight the financial report, if you would.
Chairman, for the month of March, we started out with $1,545,000 in the bank. We brought in some interest on the bank and on the loans. We brought in principal from the loans, and we paid out the audit expense and some legal fees. We ended up the month with $5,567,000 in the bank.
Right. And I had
I do
excuse
want to
me.
report also, last month we talked about the loan schedule here of all our loans. We had talked about Bert Heinrich, and shortly after our meeting, Bert came in with a check and made a payment on his account. It had been some time, but he did show up with a payment, so I just wanted to let the board know that. So some progress there.
All right, it may be a little premature, but I am listening to the talk of the town here in Attica about one of our borrowers, and I think we might have an unpleasant surprise. And I don't feel free to discuss who it is at this point, but I've advised the staff to look into it. But it's just something to keep in mind. I don't think it's going to materially affect our finances, but something to look into. Is there anything else? Any other further discussion or comment? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report as submitted. Do I have such a motion?
I would make that motion, Judge. Thank you.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Is there anyone who does not approve? All right, the motion is carried. We've already done our audit presentation. And I'll turn this over to Jim for action item A.
Mr. Chairman, we would need a motion and approval on the audit, just so we have it for the record, please.
Okay, good thinking.
I'll make that motion.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, is there anybody who does not agree? Okay, the motion is carried. And we would go then to Jim. Could you tell us about 3A?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item under the action items are the grant application that our partners at the Wyoming County Board of Supervisors are applying for on our behalf. And that's for a New York State Office and Community Renewal Grant application for small business grants. The idea is to apply for $300,000 of funding that could then be granted out to small businesses less than 5 employees, where the owners are either low to moderate income, or they must make jobs available to someone of low to moderate income. The grant amounts that we're looking to provide folks are going to be in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $20,000. Half of that grant money should be earmarked for new startups. The other half can be listed for existing businesses. The main focus of the program is going to be on agribusiness types of businesses, in addition to recreation, tourism, and hospitality, since those industries got hurt the hardest during the pandemic. So the Board of Supervisors is participating in the application process by conducting a public hearing at their next board meeting on April 13th. If the grant is secured, and by the way, we're using Sickerman and Associates to do the application. The BAC is paying for the preparation of the application. So if the money is secured, and then historically the county, the grant funds go to the county, and they sign a sub-recipient agreement with the BAC for implementation of the project. So we're anticipating this application going in May, and I just wanted to bring the board up to date on this. This was something the board authorized pre-pandemic, and then the grant disappeared for a while, and then it came back again. So we didn't forget your request to do that. That's why we're kind of chasing this down.
So we don't need a motion on this, right?
We do not. It's just an update item.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Jim, do the people that, the applicants, are they referred to the fast track program to take the
Actually, as part of the application process, Office of Community Renewal wants to see letters of interest from businesses.
Okay.
So we are soliciting some viable candidates that have graduated the fast track program to provide those letters for us. But yeah, we're looking for interested parties from no matter where they might come from.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, now that I think about it, maybe there is a motion that could be made to get out of the way in case we forget this. But if this grant is approved, we will need to authorization to sign an agreement with Wyoming County Board of Supervisors for a subrecipient agreement for implementation of the grant.
All right, would somebody like to make that motion?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I can,
make that motion, Jim.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Does anybody oppose? Okay, the motion is carried. Let's move to 3B.
3B, the Arcade and Attica Railroad has received a federal grant totaling $490,000 for the construction of a safety gate and at the crossing on Route 98 in the town of Java. This is near the intersection of Route 77 and Route 98. The grant has always been a reimbursable grant, and historically the BAC has been very good about providing what's known as a grant anticipation note, where we will upfront the money, and then as the work is completed and the funds are secured from the federal level, they will be used to pay back the note. My understanding is this project probably will not occur till early fall. So it'll be a while, but we thought we'd get it on the agenda and get it approved in case something changes with that construction schedule. Again, we normally don't charge much in way of legal costs or anything like that. We try to make sure that we can keep the railroad very viable operation. So that's my my request is from the A&A board. or A&A management folks. They did submit a letter to us describing what they want in terms of a board resolution from the Arcade and Attica board. And but it did not have a final signature on it. So I would ask the board if they're going to support this grant anticipation note, that they do it contingent upon getting a final signature from a gentleman by the name of Pat Connors, the secretary.
Any comment or discussion? Do I hear a motion to grant that request?
I'll move that.
Second?
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
All right.
Judge, before we vote, I want to make it known that I will recuse myself from voting on this agenda item.
Okay. And I have to comment that I would hope that they'd save a few bucks to work on the Chafee Road crossing there. Put a little tarmac in there around the rails. If
That's
you've
a
been over
county-
that, if you've gone over that lately, you'll know.
That's a county
It's
road. Just
It's a
repaired a couple years ago.
It's county.
It's county road. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We might save some dental expenses if they could patch that up a little. Anyway. Okay. Is there anyone who opposes the motion? If not, the motion is carried. Is there any other business?
I have no other business.
All right. All right, the next meeting will be scheduled after the IDA meeting on May 13th at 2:30 PM. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Oh, I'll second it.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Yep, get out.